Good afternoon, class. This is teacher Liletla Chavez.
And this is teacher Grisela Chavez.
We are your teachers in this afternoon. How are you, class? So it is good to hear that all of you are okay. So now we are done in the topic, the computer as a teacher's tool. So now, let's proceed to the information technology in support of student-centered learning.
So in this lesson, we will know how a teacher can expand his or her options to make it more effective and relevant in the 21st millennium information age. In particular, the lesson focuses on the student-centered learning approach and teacher-centered learning approach in the classroom. In this case, an essential question goes, how can a teacher manage the classroom?
Presenting to you our learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to first, develop prior knowledge about traditional classroom. Second, students know the student-centered classroom. And lastly, identify the new classroom environment. So, what is technology and education?
So technology is a tool for learning.
Technology should be integrated across the curriculum.
Next, computers belong in classrooms rather than laboratories.
Classrooms should be connected to the web.
Teacher training should focus on curriculum integration. So, what are your observations in this picture? Yes, it may be observed that a classroom usually arranged with desks and rows and a teacher in front. This room is usually overcrowded with students and one teacher. The mode of teaching in this class is generalized and does not focus on individual performance.
Traditional classroom characteristics. First, face-to-face lectures. A professional of learning institution delivers lectures on set topics, often with students facing his or her.
Next is student presence on participation. Here, students that are physically present within the place of learning as opposed to contributing and receiving instructions through discussions.
Third, limited student-to-student interaction. The set pattern of sitting at desks or tables in rows, and the teacher sitting or standing in front of the class.
So the last one is the routine. It is the traditional classroom tend to operate within the boundaries of a fixed routine. At certain points of the day or class, a set schedule of events will take place in a traditional classroom.
So, according to John Dewey, describe traditional learning as a process in which the teacher pours information to student learners, much like pouring water from a jug into cups. This is based on the long accepted belief that the teacher must perform his role of teaching so that learning can occur. This learning approach is generally known as direct instruction, and it has worked well for obtaining many kinds of learning outcomes.
So next, what have you observed in this picture? Yes, students are directly involved and invested in the discussion of their own knowledge through collaboration and cooperation with others. Students engage in experiential learning that is authentic, holistic, and challenging.
And now, let's find out the critical attributes of a student-centered classroom. First, construction,
Metacognition,
collaboration.
meaningful assessment, and real-world context.
So in order for the students to be metacognitive, they must know how and know the need to think about their thinking.
So when students are engaged in activities that result in authentic and challenging applications, they are more highly motivated to learn. A combination of real-world assessment and the attributes of assessment for learning provides student-centered classroom teachers with the challenge of moving away from paper and pencil exams. John Dewey once quoted, "Education, therefore, is a process of living and not a preparation for future living."
In fact, as early as the 20th century, educational educators such as John Dewey argued for highly active and individualized pedagogical methods which placed the student. Nowadays, school curriculum emphasizes the student-centered classroom and is characterized by students individually or in groups. So, first we have performing computer word processing for the text or graph presentation. In this time of pandemic, both teachers and students are using Microsoft Word to transmit and to send their outputs and activities and to expand learning.
Next is preparing PowerPoint presentation. Preparing PowerPoint presentation is commonly used especially when you are going to present a presentation.
Next, searching for information on the internet. So we can access information easily, especially when we are looking for an answer.
Next is brainstorming on ideas, problems, and project plans. So the new setting allows us to think critically on our own. We collaborate and share different ideas, which can lead us to a very creative presentation or an output.
As needed, the teacher facilitating instruction, also giving individualized instruction to serve individual needs. Just like what teacher did, he facilitates students by giving instructions and of course for us to perform. Desiring to gain effectiveness, efficiency, and economy in administration, schools in these developed economies have also adopted the support of information communication technology or ICT. Their students have now become active, not passive learners, demonstrating independence and self-awareness in the learning process.
Noticeably, however, after spending so many minutes in the lesson presentation and class management, students can get restless and fidgety. Often enough, the teacher has to also manage misbehavior in class as students start to talk among themselves or simply stare away in lack of attention. So teachers may have different kinds of techniques, activities, and approaches in teaching their students. Learner may lead to the ICT to be able to search for more information.
According to Herbert Simon, learning results from what the student does and think and only from what the student does and thinks. The teacher can advance learning only by influencing what the student does to learn. In this new learning environment or the student-centered classroom, it is the student's perseverance, hard work, and willingness to learn that really matters. The teachers are only the facilitator and evaluate student learning capacities.
So that ends our lesson for this afternoon. So if you have questions and further clarifications, please do not hesitate to approach or contact us. Thank you for listening, everyone. Keep safe and God bless.
Again, this is Teacher Lilette.
And this is Teacher Grisel, leaving you a message. The capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. The willingness to learn is a choice.